Hey, boys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of the Supercoach Diaries. Today, we're going to firstly be looking back at how we went last week and look forward to this week and the two changes that I've made heading into this new round. So, last round was actually a bit of an improvement on how I've been going the last few rounds before that. I actually hit over 2,000 this time, which is a lot more than I can say for the past couple of rounds. So, this week I got 2,057 points. I had a few really low performers, especially a couple of Adelaide players that didn't really get anywhere near it, so that was a good sign. I ended up being in the top 21% of the league with scoring, and overall I'm ranked at 44,000, so I've fallen back a fair way, but I've still got enough room to catch up. I'm especially confident heading into this week about who I've picked. So let's have a look at how some of my better performers were last week. So last week I had a couple of standout people. The two people I had captaincy and vice captaincy on actually both played really well. Dangerfield scored 132. I had the vice captaincy on him and I decided to take his score. And then he sure went and did a number on Gold Coast and scored 143. Now I am disappointed I didn't get He Shaw's 143, but if anyone scores over about 120 and they're the captain, I usually will play it pretty safe and usually take that score. As for other people that performed really well, Zach Merritt again is starting to find a bit of consistency, averaging over 100 points, doing very well for us. Tom Liberatore also performed really well, as well Dylan Shield, who's starting to get scores over 100. Dylan Shield's an interesting part. He averages about 100 every single game. So he's consistent, but he never blows out the water. He'll never get you the 150, but he'll constantly get you 100. So depends what you want. Do you want consistency with the hundreds, or do you want ups and downs, maybe 150 one week, then maybe a 70 the next week? Who knows? So the two changes I had this week were Rory Sloane coming into the team and taking out Brad Crouch. Now I had a lot of money left over from the past couple of weeks of wheeling and dealing. So Brad Crouch was about 300,000 and he had and I had about 350,000 left over. I spent the money on Rory Sloane. His price had dropped back a bit from the start of the season. He was sitting at 543,000. And I thought that was a good price to pick him out, especially because Adelaide, this week especially, hitting into the Suns, so he's going to be having a very good week out. So he is my new inclusion. He's also going to be my captain this week. The second inclusion I had this week was the inclusion of Dane Zorko. Now, if you look over my list, I have a few Brisbane Lions in there, but I'm really confident that these Brisbane Lions I've picked will score. Dane Zorko has been on fire the past couple of weeks, and I've decided to jump on the bandwagon, hopefully not too late. He's averaging 118, which is a great score for a forward. And who I took out Daniel Wells. Now, I had a bit of money left over from twitching Crouch into Sloane, so I used that extra money to upgrade Wells to Zorko. Now, the reason I upgraded Wells was he's been scoring amazingly well, and you can't fault it, but there's been talk that he has done his Achilles, or he's injured his Achilles again. So that automatically is warning signs. That could be weeks and weeks out. So I've decided to cut my losses with Wells. He made us a lot of money, can't argue with that, and I've decided to upgrade him to Zorko. And I'm looking for Zorko to be there by the end of the season. Captains this week, as you can see, two pretty obvious characters. I mentioned Sloane before. They're running into Gold Coast. Gold Coast are missing all types of players. They've got no one left, so Sloane should have an absolute field day getting as much ball as possible. And my vice is on Dangerfield. Now, because it's happening so early morning in Manchester, the space between the Dangerfield and the Sloane game, they obviously cross over, so there's no chance of me being able to switch one and the other over. But I'm confident with Rory Sloane's scoring ability, and unless he comes out late, which I don't expect, he will score big points. Heading towards the midway point of the season, I have 17 trades left. Again, I feel like I'm using too many trades, and I feel like I'm wasting them when I don't need to be. I'm always very twitchy. I'm like, I've got to make that trade, instead of sitting there for a week and letting it roll over. And I've also only got 7,600 remaining salary because I've made those changes available So I need to start building up that salary back up. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to follow the Supercoach Diaries. We're getting into the hard end of the season where the buys will start coming in and we're going to start running into some trouble, and hopefully I can do my best to avoid. I think I'm pretty confident with this team I've picked this week. I'm hoping for a big score coming up. Thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully your team's doing better than mine, and I'll see you later.